Alright, so for those of you that don't know, there's just some recent news, well, it was like yesterday, that Shadow Bone got pushed. So that means Shadow Bone's actually, like, very likely that Alolan Marowak Day that we just talked about is going to have Shadow Bone. Now, Shadow Bone is extremely powerful. As you see, 80 damage, 45 energy, and a 20% chance to lower target's defense by 1 stage. That's pretty nuts. Just to put in comparison, like 30% was, I believe, Cresselia's old one. 20% still pretty good. So being able to lower defense by 1 stage means whatever you like, you can lead with. There's a lot of things you could do with Shadowbone AWAC, especially with Shadowbone. Now, in comparisons to its other movesets, I'll go over that later. But 80 damage and 45 energy, it's really good. And compared to like, it's extremely viable for both Great League and Halloween Cup and for future cups, because of Shadowbone you do get stabbed, and like I said, those overall stats are just nuts. Now, Shadowbone is a great move. As you see, ppoke.com, this is his deep analysis, and I wholly agree. Like, he is the messiah of all moves and stats, etc. And he gives you a great analysis here. I'm just gonna go over like really quick, like what he says. So this is what he's saying about Shadow Ball Bone Club, the comparison between Shadowbone and Bone Club. As you see here, you still want Bone Club just because you have a bait move. And as you see, it doesn't, like he says, it doesn't drastically change the matches for Marowak. So you still, like, it's very up it just because Bone Club, like, we'll see you. I'll give you the comparison later, but because you do less damage than Shadow Ball is a great nuke move. So we'll do the comparison later. But as you see here, it doesn't get too much better, but it's still really good because it's still really interesting. As you see here, you have stronger ratings with the Shadow Ball variation because of, like I said, if you look at the comparisons, what it actually gets weaker against some matchups, mainly the top 3, but it's still able to close out, especially with stronger matchups like Deoxys Defense, Abomasnow, etc. As you see here. But here's Hex Shadowbone Fire Blast. It's actually worse. So for those of you that are like, I want to run Hex Shadowbone Fire Blast, that's not really the wrong moveset. However, if you're going to use this variation, as you see, it's significantly weaker than the other two just because you don't have a bait move. At the same time, Bone Club does have some use, even though, like I said, it's a great bait move and it still does a decent amount of damage. Now, the thing about Shadowbone is that, as you see, Shadowbone has a little less oomph, so there's some situations, like I mentioned, that won't have Shadow Ball. So Shadow Ball is a nuke, and then Fireball does help out with the damage, and Hex gives you speed and the mirror match. So it's just really interesting. There's a lot of play, like I said, there's no real wrong moveset, but like it can determine, etc. And then here's kind of just like the picture of the comparison. As you see, Shadowbone does do 10 less damage. Now that doesn't seem like 20 less damage. That doesn't seem like a lot, but switching it out for like nuke potential is just like, yeah, that's basically what it is. It's just like that little extra damage will KO some things, especially since you do get stabbed with Shadow Ball. So it just really depends. Overall, still very good. But as you see the comparison, Shadowbone does have a lot of play in future meta. Alright, so here's a technical summary, but really just an overview of the event. As you see, Alolan Marowak, the event is going to be from October 31st, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. your local time. So it's going to be local time, not PST or whatever, so you'll have plenty of time. You can have lunch, and then after that, you can go ahead and kill a bunch of, like, boning Marowaks, etc. But it says there will be... I don't know if it's going to be, like... I don't know, like... Because it's 6 hours long, usual, like, past raid days, like, Alolan Marowaks are like, the said Mon was spawning everywhere. As in, like, it took over a gym for like 6 hours, or like 3 hours. I don't know if that's gonna be the same way for Alolan Marowak, but we'll just see. Either way, just a few notes. For Alolan Marowak for the raid day, the thing is you won't be able to get, like, I would say a good IV one. The minimum you can get from raids is 10, 10, 10. So to get a good Marowak, you're gonna have to get it traded to you. Does that make sense? So you're gonna have to get you're gonna have to get probably like a low level person or like someone to like trade it to you so that you can get a good IV one. Or you could do, it's very likely Shadowbone will be put into the Elite TM pool, so you can pick either one. Just in case though, I definitely recommend going out and raiding for them just because this is a great trade bait. So Alolan Marowak, once everything with this situation with COVID is over, you can go back and you can trade with your friends. Also, we don't know if it might go into the ATM pool, so I definitely recommend you go after it. So like I said, I would go after as many as you can so you could trade with them in the future. And to keep in mind that you can't get a really good PvP IV1 unless it's traded to you. But you do have 6 hours to get it. That's a good part about it. Alolan Marowak is really good for Go Battle League and really great for Halloween Cup. So even if you don't have a great IV1, it's still really good to just have. You know what I mean? So it's up to you. Good luck. I hope you get a great IV one. Remember, it can also be shiny. So if you want to flex that shiny Alolan Marowak with Shadowbone, it's completely up to you. But good luck, you guys. I hope you get a really great PvP one traded to you, or you catch a good PvP one and you get your shinies. And the event is 6 hours long, so you don't really have to stress about like, oh, I don't have a lot of time or I have to work that day. Good luck, you guys. Have a good one, and remember that like it's really good. It's really good. So Shadowbone is worth it. So definitely raid for it. Go for it. If you battle, do it.